Spurs big man Victor Wembanyama is going to rule fantasy basketball for the next 10 years, and I'm here to detail why. So let's get into the film. Alright, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. This is Nick, and welcome to Basketball Trader Room. And Victor Wembanyama had an off game last night versus the Grizzlies. He only had 13 points and shot 5 for 19 from the field. And when you usually hear that, you don't think somebody could have an impactful fantasy day. But despite that, Wemby had 59 fantasy points because he added 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 8 blocks. He had 30 points just off defense, and that's why he's going to be at least top 3 for a number of years to come, because he doesn't need a big scoring output to have a huge fantasy day. Victor on the season is averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks, and he is comfortably top 10 in fantasy this season. Alright, so on this play, the Spurs call a set that they love to use for Wemby, so he can use his alien-like agility versus other big men. So here they're going to go the elbow pin curl out of the horn set. The quickest way to identify horns is 2 people on the elbows of the free throw line. So you see Devin Vassell here, you see Harrison Barnes here. They're going to enter that ball right into Devin Vassell. Then Harrison Barnes is going to come set a pin down screen on whoever Victor Wembanyama is checking. So for Victor, and he's going to curl off, and he can do whatever he wants when he gets the ball right here. The sentiment is that other big men aren't as quick as him, and the big guys are the person on the court that you would least expect to get through an off-ball screen effectively and quick enough to impact Victor Wembanyama. So Harrison Barnes sets that there. He gets a wide open look in the mid-range. And just look at how much the game of basketball has changed. We got a 6-foot point guard in Chris Paul. He's going to set a transition pin down screen for Victor Wembanyama, a 7'3", 7'4", big man, so he can pull up in transition as the trailer and get this 3, and he knocks it down. And this is where Victor's gonna make his money. Again, averaging 4 blocks on the season, had 8 in this game, and he can do it all as a help defender, as a primary defender. His length and his instincts and his timing as a shot blocker are second to none, man. And right here, he comes off of Zach Edey and damn near palms this shot from Jalen Wells and gets a block. And Victor just covers so much ground. You see here that the Grizzlies, they're gonna try to do some flare action there. Then Jaren Jackson comes right out of it. He pops, and then I think Jaren understands that he probably can't shoot this, even though he has some space off the catch. Victor can easily block this shot, and so he drives. Vic at 7'3", 7'4", my measure of a unicorn / an alien is agility at your size. So if it's a 5'9" guy that's quick as hell, that's not really that impressive. But a 7'3" guy that is able to move like this laterally, it's just super special. And then Jaren Jackson, one of the best players in the NBA, goes at Vic, gets his shot pinned to the backboard. And this is one of the best fantasy defensive sequences that you're gonna see. So they counted this as a steal, and you can see why. Zach Edey tries to throw the ball in bounds. Victor taps it. He gets possession here with 2 hands while he's in bounds. Now, this could be controversial, but this was counted as a steal. He had 2 steals in this game. And then the 2 blocks right here. Zach Edey had already dunked on him one time, was giving him a couple buckets, but Victor ended this half with 8 blocks, and he was everywhere right there on the block by Zach Edey. You see Aldama like second guess himself a little bit because Victor's there, but Vic kind of plays a little cat and mouse game and baits Aldama into shooting this ball. If you look closely, Vic is gonna turn his head like he's not looking. He's turning his head like he's not even looking at Aldama. Aldama mistakes this as, hey, I could probably shoot this ball, and he just bats it out of there. And this is why on the last clip where we saw Jaren Jackson pop to the 3-point line, I was like, yeah, he might not have the space to pull that off, because Victor, with his agility and his lift, he's probably going to block that shot. This is an example right here. This is much more space than that last play. Jaren is damn near out of the frame right now, and Victor's in the paint, and he still was able to get this. And here he is right here as a help defender. If you're an offensive player, you need to cater your game off of where Victor Wembanyama is. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but you need to know where he's at. I don't think Jaren Jackson knows where Victor's at until his shot gets blocked. And a thing that a lot of great scorers say is that it's not about the person that's in front of me, it's about the help defender. And I feel like a lot of great scorers, like Victor, is gonna alter, how they play, or at least just make things hard. There's great players in the NBA. These guys on a lot of nights can't be stopped. You can only hope to contain them and make things tough for them. And Victor can certainly do that to anybody that's driving the basketball right there with the help. And again, he can do it as a primary defender. You know what they say, pick on guys your own size. He finds Zach Edey, he walls up Zach Edey and bats that out of here before halftime. And here we got him on the offense side again. Again, just seeing how much the game of basketball has evolved. We got point guards setting pin downs for 7-3 big men. The Spurs do a phenomenal job of not putting Wemby in a box. They run sets and they run actions for him to utilize his alien-like ability. Here we got Stephon Castle. I don't know what's going on right there between him and Jaren, but Wemby knocks down the three. And the most underrated part of Wemby's game to me is his passing. And you got Jaren Jackson here in the paint. He's also a great shot blocker. So a lot of the things that I was saying about Victor in the paint as an offensive player, you need to know where he's at all times. That same thing goes for Jaren Jackson Jr. And Wemby does a nice job of doing that here. So he has the mismatch. He backs down, he spins, and he knows where Jaren Jackson is. Jaren Jackson comes to help, and Wemby lays it down for Stephon Castle. And again, he did have a bad night shooting the ball, but the ability is clearly there. A guy this tall, with this type of length that can shoot the ball from this deep is special. Victor right now is 6th in Yahoo Fantasy's rankings. And again, as he becomes a more efficient offensive player, these bad shooting nights will be few and far between. And when you cover that with the defensive playmaking and the passing, we might be looking at the rule of fantasy basketball. But please leave a like and subscribe. We will see you in the next video. Peace.